you're going to lose your job. It may not be today, it may not be next week, but you're going to lose your job, and you better start preparing for that inevitability right now. Even a couple weeks ago, I laid off 25% of employees from 2 of my major companies. I didn't just do it because we're in a recession. I did it because we are needing to innovate something new for the new world that is being created. Yes, it is a recession. It is massive layoffs. It is all this technology. It is all this AI, and it's going to be awful for you unless you turn this downer into something really positive. And today, I'm going to show you both. One shot, now the future is yours. Go! We're at an all-time high on market pessimism. I'm not afraid to tell you that I'm leading the charge. Elon Musk is just one of the many business leaders who believe that a severe recession is inevitable. If he's correct, it could mean the end of not just the post-COVID economic boom, but the American economy as we know it. And here's 3 reasons why. By the way, on Twitter, Elon Musk dropped this. Based on past experience, about 12 to 18 months, companies that are inherently negative cash flow, meaning value destroyers, need to die so that they stop consuming resources. When we talk about this economy as we know it ending, Elon Musk is saying that we're going to face one of the biggest cataclysmic shifts in the way we perceive economy. In other words, what used to work here is no longer going to work today. And that means that you're going to lose your job because your industry is being recreated, and you're either at the cutting edge of this change and transformation, or you're just going to get swept up, left in the dust, and you're going to have the biggest story of victimhood about how your company abused you and laid you off and how unfair it was. Don't make that your story. Make this one your story. There are 3 major contributing factors why you are eventually going to lose your job. And the first one is inflation and interest rates. When both inflation and interest rates are high, like they are right now, it can result in stagnation where the economy stops growing. But inflation eats away at everyone's wages and savings, including employers who are forced to lay off staff. So you either want to believe, hey, no, Kris, this is short term. We're going to turn it around. We're going to go back to the way things were. We have opened Pandora's box. There is no going back to the way things were. You've got to learn how to think differently because this is happening. In the past, it was an option. What I'm going to tell you in this video, it's now a must. Reason number 2, what if I told you that we were going to experience massive correction in the marketplace? And it wasn't just going to be in your stock market 401k IRA portfolio, but the company that you work at. A market correction is another way of saying that the most publicly traded companies are likely overpriced and will soon lose a ton of value. This is bad news for employees because the average market correction since 1945 is around 15%. And when a company loses that much value, they lay off staff to stay afloat. And right now you're going to experience layoffs for a number of reasons. One of them is, because we are in a recession. But let's talk about AI. Did you know that by 2025, we're talking about 70 million job losses? That's what the World Economic Forum is not just forecasting, it's what they're hoping for. And that means that there's a number of industries that are highly at risk right now that basically they're not going to need humans anymore to run in them. If you're in one of those, you're already gone. But if you're not, it's just a matter of 1, 2, or 3 years, which means you're going to have to become a person of different value. You're going to have to create value differently than you have in the past. And if you can't figure that out, you understand that the middle class is shrinking. Over the next decade, another 10% of it will be lost. Half will go into poverty. Half will go into wealth. Just like when we experienced the last pandemic, did you know that that year it created 5 million new millionaires around the entire globe? You have to choose right now whether this thing is going to eat you alive or whether you're going to turn it into a huge opportunity. Speaking of artificial intelligence, this is reason number 3, and this is what Goldman Sachs has to say on the matter. They estimate that around 300,000 jobs will disappear over the next few years thanks to advancement in AI. And there's simply too much money and momentum in the field to slow it down. And I'm going to tell you right now, I've developed my own AI committee. I'm keeping an eye on the market, and I'm doing all sorts of really cool, crazy crap in AI. Now, I was here for its birth in November of 2022, and if you take a look at just the last 7 months, how far it's come, it is mind-numbing. Like, we try to imagine what the world would be like in 10 or 20 years. You can't imagine what it's going to be like in the next 24 months because a whole bunch of things are about to become obsolete, including your job. And there is one important choice that you need to make right now if you're going to survive this. And I hate to break it to you, but it's a sucky one. The solution for you is going to be found in one word: entrepreneurship. Now don't go, pay attention. Millennials have demanded that things be far easier than they were from the previous generation. But Gen Z, they got an altogether different notion. 94% of them statistically know that some type of side hustle, some type of business ownership, something that allows them to control their money flow and their flexibility and their mobility, they don't want what the previous generations want, but they do understand this one thing. They understand that until you own your own financial destiny and make money on your accord, that you're gonna be screwed. And if you don't wanna be screwed, check this out. Whether it's photography, catering, or even being an event bouncer, 45% of Americans already have a side hustle of some sort. Think about that for a moment. 45%, that's literally almost half of everyone. Now, I think they're doing it not out of passion, they're doing it out of necessity, because can a job really pay you all the money that you need for your financial future? You know the answer is no, but that answer is even shrinking. It's getting worse, and having some type of business or side hustle is going to change that for you. However, not all side hustles are created equal. The secret to wealth is to separate your time from your earning capacity, and the best side hustle for that is social media marketing. As in, I wanna show you my favorite hustle right now, and it's not based on your passion. It's not based on what you love. It's based on how do you spend the least amount of your time making the most money so that you can reclaim your time and go live your life on your terms. Now, there are different kind of hustles. Let me define it for you. A hustle means something you do on the side, so it's not full time. But there are 5-figure hustles, 7-figure hustles, and the difference is like, do I make 10 or 20 extra $1,000 a year, or do I make an extra $1 million a year? If you want to know how to make a whole lot more money than your jobs have been paying you, check this out. You've got to find a fast-growing business. You got to figure out using social media how to market their services. Then you give those leads to another company to do all of the work, and you get paid for that, and then you rinse and repeat. Now, this model that I'm sharing with you right now, I've got this neat little system that I built around it, and I've got people making insane amounts of money, and all they're doing is spending an hour or two from their laptop at home doing something on the side. With me as their mentor, I've shown them exactly how to do it, and they're not just producing supplemental income. Many of them have completely replaced their job incomes. They've reclaimed their time. They're starting to live life now on their terms. And if you want that, check this out. The secret to all financial success, whether you're making money in day trading or some other stock market methodology, or doing some type of side hustle, or buying and selling businesses, or investing in real estate, the answer is always the same. You go find someone that is killing it in that arena, someone that is already relevant, making tons of money, all the money that you could want, and they have a history of it. And then what you do is you learn from them. And in the link below, you can learn how to do that with me. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I own hundreds of companies, and I'm telling you right now that what I'm talking about is the least time for the most amount of money trade that you can have right now in your world. Click the link and learn about how an hour or two a day could replace your job entirely, and at the end of the day, control your own financial future. It's one thing to be poor, it's another to be rich, but most people land right in the middle with what we call the middle class. And the middle class is going down. It is shrinking faster than it ever has before. If you want to understand why, click right here, watch this video, because understanding it will help you figure out how to make sure you don't fall into that crack, going into the poverty category, but instead, join the wealthy.